Okay, so let's see if we can get this to happen in real time. So these are about right cone constructions. Okay, so if you have just two planes that are at a right angle to each other, you just need to go circle, 2 point, draw it like that, and then if you extrude that to the point, this is a perfect 90-degree right cone. Okay, and then if I just rotate this 180 degrees and rotate it 180 degrees, I get a construction like this. Okay. And I could trim that with a box and it would be interesting to look at probably. Let's do a bounding box. Let's extend these. Trim them. Okay. And if I wanted to do this on an angle in a more complex way, like with two surfaces that are at an angle to each other, any weird angle, just make a sphere somewhere where I want the apex to be. And I'm going to mark it. Let's put it there. Sphere of any size. Intersect it with these surfaces. And then I can draw a circle. Actually, I need to extend this because I want the apex to be under the straight line. So get more of it. Well, let me. Apex can be anywhere, so let's put a straight line here. Let's put a sphere here of any radius. But now I want to make a tangent to this line and this line at this point. Now I can't control where the other point, that one, is going to land. But I want to make sure that one of these lines is vertical, so I have to start from that point. Okay, let's split this. The intersection point is not here. It is, but excellent. Okay, and now I will extrude this to the point, scale that up from the apex, and then let's take another axis out here. And another axis here. These are in these planes, okay? So in the construction planes, now I'm going to rotate this whole thing. These, and now I'll rotate this whole thing 180 degrees. And now I'm going to clean this up. So let's delete some of these extra duplicates of the surfaces. Trim them. Other. left out that triangle, so I'm just going to recreate it. Join, merge all coplanar faces. Right. Okay, so then I would get something like that. It's a little asymmetrical. I'd probably want to make this more symmetrical. Okay, and then there's the construction. So that produces these two versions right here. And then there's another thing that I can do with right cones. Okay, so this comes from Cameron's Notre Dame de Haut innovation. The particular intersection is something he used there. That's where I learned it. So if you rotate this cone 90 degrees, the wrong 90 degrees, like that, okay, you get this quite beautiful intersection. And if I trim this out, I can do it more or less. But what it does is it allows these two cones together to sort of look like they're tangent to three planes, both to this plane, this plane, this plane, and these two planes are the same. So these cones are tangent to kind of an entire corner in an interesting way. So let's trim this out and see what that looks like. So it's hard to trim cones that intersect so precisely. I'm going to make this a little larger so you can see. But if I extend them through each other and then I go intersect, I get a line. And then often I have to extend the line a little bit. You can see there's something sort of funny going on at the end. I zoom in here. Like an extra weird point, so it won't extend in the right direction. There, now I can extend it, and I can extend it this way, and I can sort of find the moment where these. Okay, and then I can split them with each other. See, I can't do it here because I didn't fix it this time. Okay, and then I can get this kind of beautiful situation where the cones merge into the ground at 90 degrees to one another. And then I can rotate this again 180 degrees. I can rotate it again 180 degrees. Get to extend these. This sort of incredible situation. Okay, and then this one looks like it needs to be trimmed a little bit better. Not quite trimmed correctly on this side. Build two planes, join, merge. Okay, now what if I wanted to do this at a funny angle? That's a little more complicated. So let's get the one that started here. Just start with a bunch of planes. So here I've got sort of three planes at an odd angle. Okay, and so here what I can do is I can do the same thing I did before. I can make an apex, can intersect all of these. And I want an apex here, make a sphere. And I will intersect this sphere with the first two planes. And I'll draw a cone. Split it. And extrude it to the apex. And that's the first one. And now I'll do it again from a different point. Well, I'll do it to the same point, and then we can move it. No. Yes. Mark the apex. Okay. Sphere. Make a vertical line in this plane. And now let's do a circle tangent tangent to there. Split this circle. And let's get the second cone like that. And then let's make this one bigger. Okay. They're the same cones in a very similar situation, except now they're not 90-degree cones anymore, and they're not oblique to one another. They're not at right angles to each other, but they are still tangent to these sets of planes. Okay, so let's do this. Let's intersect them. And let's extend that. Okay, I'm going to copy this because I'm going to do two different versions of it. Now let's split this. Here's the same thing I had last time. Get rid of this plane, split this plane. Okay, now let's do my look at this. There we go. Let's extend this out. Okay, maybe I'll extend the tangent line so we can sort of see how it works and trim it. Okay, now let's make an axis line vertical in this plane, and let's make an axis in the other plane. This only works this easily because I'm drawing it orthogonally. And now let's rotate this 180 degrees around that plane, and then let's this out. Now let's rotate this whole thing 180 degrees around this axis. Okay, oblique version of the same construction. Okay, now, if I had done this trimming the other way, it's also interesting. Taking screwing this up. Okay, I want that part of that cone keep there. I want to keep just different versions of the plane. Get rid of that plane. Keep that one. Now, if I do this rotation game 180 degrees, it looks better. Oh, I just extended it differently. Okay. I just let this go around the outside. Bounding box. Keep extending these things. Until they go outside the bounding box. Extensive. Let's trim them all. This is not the right bounding box. There we go. Sometimes things don't extend, and you have to try different versions of it. things have trouble extending when they're trimmed. If you untrim stuff, it will automatically extend. But often I get lazy because I don't want to redo the trimming. Like trimmed correctly still, but you get the idea. Okay, so that's another one. Okay, the last thing is this thing that I created here reminded me of this medial surface that I also showed, except the medial surface um, rotates faster. Like up till here, it's sort of alike, but then it rotates faster. So what if I wanted this to rotate faster? I think it goes another 90 degrees around this turn. So in order to do something like that, what I would do is just take the whole bottom part, rotate it by 90 degrees, and then let me just sell that, sell last, cut it, undo, paste. So I have both. I forgot to do that. Okay, so now I'm gonna delete the bottom part of this original, but basically this cone here connects to this surface, and I want it to connect to this one. So instead of doing joining that surface and this other surface, I wanted to join this surface and this original one from this cone. So I just need to untrim this, extend it, untrim this, and find the intersections. I think I rotated it too far. Let's not do 90 degrees. Let's just do 45 degrees. Let's do 60. Okay, there we go. And now if I find the intersection between these two surfaces, there's the intersection line. Then all I need to do is make a new sphere from the center, intersect it with both of these surfaces, make a new cone, circle, tangent, tangent. Extrude that cone to the apex, extend it, and use it to trim those planes. Okay, and then what I also need to do here is connect the other one. So I'll do it again. I'll extend this surface, extend this surface, find their intersection, draw a sphere, get the intersection, circle, tangent, tangent, split, point, I lost part of this surface, so I'm gonna have to remake it. There, I could have probably gone 45. Could have gone more. Let's do more. It just gets more confusing because it's on the other side here. But I can still do the same thing. Sphere. Find the right things to trim. Okay, that's the old one. Get rid of that. Trim this other plane down. Need to do the other cone on the other side, so that's the same plane intersected with the opposite oblique plane. This should be over here. Now I need more of it. Let's make a sphere. Those two planes. You can't see which ones. There they are. Okay. Circle, tangent, tangent. It's getting confusing how many circles I have here. Okay, now I need to just trim out these planes. I've created the two opposite cones. All right, so I can trim this plane with that cone and that cone, and I can trim this. I just need to lock, swap, cell curve, delete. And let's make a box here. Let's make a from the center. Let's go 50, 50, 50. Oops. Okay. Let's split all these. Boom. That looks a lot like that. Well, not exactly. This one has more at the bottom, but it's a cone version of it. Okay.